Sophie, Duchess of Hohenberg, was the morganatic wife of Archduke Franz Ferdinand of Austria, the heir to the Austro-Hungarian throne. Their assassination in Sarajevo sparked a series of events that eventually led to World War I. Early life. Sophie was born in Stuttgart as the fourth daughter of Count Bohuslav Chotek von Chartkov und Wagner, a Bohemian aristocrat, and his wife Countess Wilhelmine Kinski von Weinitz und Tettau. As a young woman, Sophie became a lady-in-waiting to Archduchess Isabella, the wife of Archduke Friedrich, Duke of Teschen, head of the Bohemian cadet branch of the House of Habsburg-Lorraine. Courtship with Franz Ferdinand. It is unknown where Sophie first met Archduke Franz Ferdinand, although it may have been at a ball in Prague. Franz Ferdinand, who was stationed at a military garrison in Prague, paid frequent visits to Halbturn Castle, the home of Archduke Friedrich, and it was assumed that he had fallen in love with Frederick's eldest daughter, Archduchess Marie Christine. When the liaison was discovered by Archduchess Isabella, herself only born into a mediatized family, a scandal ensued. Franz Ferdinand had become heir presumptive to the throne, after the suicide of his cousin Crown Prince Rudolf in 1889 and the death of his father Karl Ludwig of typhoid in 1896. As such, his uncle, the Emperor Franz Joseph, informed him that he could not marry Sophie, who could not become an empress consort. To be an eligible consort for any member of the imperial house of Habsburg-Lorraine, one needed to belong to one of the reigning or formerly reigning dynasties of Europe. Although the Choteks were noble since at least the 14th century and had been made counts of the Holy Roman Empire in 1745, they were not of dynastic rank. Franz Ferdinand refused to renounce Sophie to marry equally and beget an heir to the throne, compounding the scandal surrounding the death and illicit affair of the emperor's previous heir. Marriage with Franz Ferdinand. In 1899, under pressure from family members, the couple were granted permission to wed. Franz Ferdinand was allowed to retain his place in the order of succession and a suitable title was promised for his future wife. However, to prevent Franz Ferdinand from attempting to proclaim his wife Empress Queen or declaring the future children dynasts and thus eligible to inherit the crown once he ascended the throne, he was compelled to appear at the Hofburg Imperial Palace before the gathered archdukes, ministers, and dignitaries of the court, the Cardinal Archbishop of Vienna and the Primate of Hungary on the 28th of June 1900 to execute by signature an official instrument in which he publicly declared that Sophie would be his morganatic wife, never to bear the titles of Empress, Queen or Archduchess, and acknowledging that the descendants would neither inherit nor be granted dynastic rights or privileges in any of the Habsburg realms. Sophie and Franz Ferdinand were married on the 1st of July 1900 at Reichstadt in Bohemia. The emperor did not attend the nuptials, nor did any of the archdukes, including Franz Ferdinand's brothers. The only members of the imperial family who were present were Franz Ferdinand's stepmother, Archduchess Maria Theresia, and her two daughters. Upon her marriage, Sophie was given the title of Fürstin von Hohenberg with the style of Durchlaucht. In 1909 she was elevated to Herzogin and accorded the higher style of Hoheit. Nonetheless, all of the archduchesses, mediatized princesses and countesses of Austria and Hungary took precedence before her. For the 14 years of the marriage, Sophie never shared her husband's rank, title, or precedence. Her position at the imperial court was humiliating, aggravated by the imperial Obersthofmeister Alfred married second Prince von Montenuovo, whose insecurity about his own morganatic background is said to have prompted him to rigorously enforce court protocol at Sophie's expense. Problems of protocol prevented many royal courts from hosting the couple despite Franz Ferdinand's position as heir to the throne. Nonetheless, some did so, including King George V and Queen Mary of the United Kingdom, who warmly welcomed the couple to Windsor Castle from 17 to 21 November 1913. The couple had 4 children. Princess Sophie of Hohenberg married Count Friedrich von Nositz-Rhine. Maximilian, Duke of Hohenberg, married Countess Elisabeth von Walberg zu Wolfegg und Waldsee. Prince Ernst of Hohenberg married Marie Therese Wood. Stillborn son. Assassination. In 1914, Archduke Franz Ferdinand was invited by General Oskar Poscharek, governor of the Austro-Hungarian province of Bosnia and Herzegovina, to watch troops on maneuvers for 3 days in Sarajevo, the provincial capital. Sophie was not usually allowed to accompany her husband on ceremonial visits because of her lower status, but on this occasion Franz Ferdinand was invited as a military commander rather than a royal personage. The Archduke therefore arranged for Sophie to join him on the 28th of June, the third and final day, for a troop review followed by a visit to the city to dedicate a new museum before returning to Vienna. The date coincided with the 14th anniversary of their oath of renunciation and was a rare opportunity to celebrate in public together, although he knew that the visit would be dangerous. At 10:10 a.m. of the 28th of June 1914, when the procession passed the Sarajevo Central Police Station, Nitko Kobrinović hurled a hand grenade at the Archduke's car. The driver accelerated when he saw the object flying towards the car and the grenade exploded under the wheel of the next car. 2 of the occupants, Erich von Marizzi and Count Bußwaldeck, were seriously wounded. 14 spectators were hit by bomb splinters. After attending the official reception at the City Hall, Franz Ferdinand asked about the members of his party that had been wounded by the bomb. When the Archduke was told they were badly injured in hospital, he insisted on being taken to see them. A member of the Archduke's staff, Andreas Freiherr von Morsi, suggested this might be dangerous, but Oskar Poscharek, who was responsible for the safety of the Imperial Party, replied, "Do you think Sarajevo is full of assassins?" Quote. However, Poscharek did accept it would be better if Sophie remained behind in the City Hall. When Freiherr Morsi told Sophie about the revised plans, she refused to stay, arguing, "As long as the Archduke shows himself in public today, I will not leave him." In order to avoid the city center, General Oskar Poscharek decided that the imperial car should travel straight along the Apple Quay to the Sarajevo hospital. However, Poscharek forgot to tell the driver, Leopold Leuker, about this decision. On the way to the hospital, by the Latin Bridge, the driver took a right turn into Franz Joseph Street. One of the conspirators, Gavrilo Princip, was standing on the corner at the time. Oskar Poscharek immediately realized the driver had taken the wrong route and shouted, "What is this? This is the wrong way. We're supposed to take the Apple Quay." The driver put his foot on the brake and began to back up. In doing so he moved slowly past the waiting Gavrilo Princip. The assassin stepped forward, drew his pistol, and at a distance of about 5 feet, fired twice into the car. Franz Ferdinand was hit in the neck and Sophie in the abdomen. Sophie said to her husband, "For God's sake, what has happened to you?" Then she fell bleeding. Before losing consciousness he pleaded, Sophie, don't die. Stay alive for our children," using his pet name for the Duchess. They were both dead within an hour. Funeral and burial. The bodies were transported to Trieste by the battleship SMS Viribus Unitas and then to Vienna by special train for her joint funeral mass in a short ceremony at the Hofburg Palace attended by just the immediate imperial family. Some foreign royalty had planned to attend but cancelled the visits when it became known the presence was not wanted. In a final show with their unequal rank, the Habsburgs placed Sophie on a bier that was 18 inches lower than her husband's, and the gloves, indicative of her former status as an imperial lady-in-waiting, were placed on her coffin. The Archduke and Duchess were then taken to be entombed side by side as he had requested in the crypt of Wartstetten Castle, the Habsburgs' summer home, because burial in the imperial crypt was forbidden to Sophie. Today the castle houses a museum in the memory. Commemorative coin. Duchess Sophie's Castle of Wartstetten was selected as a main motif for the €10 Castle of Wartstetten commemorative coin minted on 13 October 2004. The reverse of the coin shows the entrance to the Hohenberg family crypt, with left-set overlay profile portraits of Sophie and Archduke Franz Ferdinand. Titles, Styles and Arms. Titles and Styles. The 1st of March 1868 to 1 July 1900 Countess Sophie Chotek von Schwarzkopf und Wagner. The 1st of July 1900 to 4 October 1909 Her Serene Highness the Princess of Hohenberg. The 4th of October 1909 to 28 June 1914, Her Highness the Duchess of Hohenberg. Arms ancestry. Through her grandmother's family, the Berchtolds, she is distantly related to former Austro-Hungarian Foreign Minister Count Leopold Berchtold and to Austrian conductor Nikolaus Harnoncourt. Cardinal Christoph Schonborn is a great-grandson of her niece, Marie Chotek.